In a week, the Holy and Great Council is to be convened by the Ecumenical Patriarch at the Orthodox Academy on the island of Crete. This is a council that the Ecumenical Patriarch, who resides in Istanbul, now the new name of Constantinople, has been planning not only for years but for decades. Some say, in the publicity that is being generated, that this is a council that has been in the waiting for 1200 years. The problem is that the media buy some of this information without questioning how it's packaged, and unfortunately it's packaged that the 14 autocephalous churches that are meeting are doing so for the first time in 1200 years, and the problem is that some of these autocephalous churches weren't in existence 1200 years ago. So what I'm trying to do with these few presentations is to try to dispel some of the myths and inaccuracies that have originated as a result of this Holy and Great Council convening next week. The first thing that I've observed is that for years the council had been referred to as a Pan-Orthodox council. The current logo and the current media website of the Ecumenical Patriarch has dispensed with the word Pan-Orthodox. In fact, it has dispensed with the word Orthodox altogether. It is just a Holy and Great Council. What purposes is it supposed to serve? I don't know. Well, actually, there is information out there about the agenda and the documents that will be discussed, so I shouldn't say I don't know, but the documents in some respect are self-explanatory, but as they say, the devil is in the details. One could ask, why did the word Pan-Orthodox or the word Orthodox disappear from the title and the logo of this event? The Ecumenical Patriarch in the 20th century became a disembodied entity, losing its canonical territory when the Ottoman Empire collapsed. So the Ecumenical Patriarch is trying to recreate itself. And one of the ideas it was promoting in the 20th century was that all Orthodox should be united under one leader into one church. That is when the term Pan-Orthodoxy emerged. But I think the Ecumenical Patriarch has some moral qualms about titling this event as Pan-Orthodox, because Orthodoxy is divided, and not only divided into different units that are canonical, but there is a large portion of Orthodoxy that is not part of this canonical movement. And to use the term Pan-Orthodox, I think, presupposes more than the Council actually represents. The Ukrainian Orthodox faithful, for the most part, find themselves outside this canonical movement. Then we have the Belarusians, we have the Macedonians, we have the Montenegrins, we have many Greeks who disagree and do not recognize the Ecumenical Patriarch because they disagree with his ecumenical and pro-Western attempts to reunify the Church with the Catholic Church, the fact that the Ecumenical Patriarch has shifted to a modified Latin calendar in the Church. All of these things have turned off a lot of the Greeks. And of course, not all the Russians are part of the canonical movement. We have the Russian Church abroad, which became unified with the Moscow Patriarchate a few years ago, but not all of it. And we have the old believers who maintain their own traditions, and they are not part of the canonical movement. So there is a significant portion, a third, maybe more, of Orthodox believers that are not being represented by this particular council. And in the last few days, divisions have appeared even amongst the canonical members of the movement. And the first to decline attendance was the Bulgarian church. Now, the Bulgarians and the Byzantines have an animosity that goes back more than 1,000 years. And just before Christmas, the Ecumenical Patriarch visiting Bulgaria made certain demands that I immediately predicted would translate into the Bulgarians boycotting this holy and great council. And now we hear that the Antiochian church is refusing to show up because of disagreements it has with the Church of Jerusalem. And the Moscow Patriarchate is calling an emergency meeting in the next few days to review the whole situation themselves. The Moscow Church has its own agenda that is not only something that's very recent, it goes back centuries as well. And the Moscow Church is trying to figure out how best to leverage all of these divisions, whether they should go and try to turn the tables on the Ecumenical Patriarch or not go and torpedo the whole thing. The Ecumenical Patriarch has bet his reputation and the idea that he is the true leader of all the Orthodox, but he's hedging his bets, I think, by changing the title of the council, removing the word Pan-Orthodox, removing the word Orthodox, and just saying it's some kind of holy and great council. If the Ecumenical Patriarch wanted to use this event to project his power, his authority, he's failing to do so even before the event starts, which doesn't give us much hope that the Ecumenical Patriarch is the kind of leader that he claims to be.